Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper. Energy beyond belief.
So much passion and so much heart.
Talent beyond belief.
He is one of a kind and always will be.
So far ahead of his time, but down to earth and one of the best people I've ever known in my entire life.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Don't take your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fatal 4-Way Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse the Man Lopez, alongside my tag team partner, Ernest Zamora. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. We took a long break, didn't we?
It has been, but what a week in wrestling we've had.
Or actually a couple of months.
Yeah, exactly, a couple of months. But this past week in particular, this Saturday, Sunday, Monday in wrestling has been, wow, it's been the craziest week in wrestling I've seen in a very long time. We had NXT Brooklyn.
Yep.
We had Summer Slam. And then we had Monday Night Raw. All three at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. And all sellouts. And for WWE, it's wow. I can't say enough of what action that we saw, what great wrestling happened within the 3 days that they were there in New York. Outstanding. Ernest, what stood out for you?
Well, we sat down and watched NXT Takeover Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, I don't have WWE Network right now, but I saw the highlights and stuff on Twitter and Facebook. People spoiling it. Then, of course, Monday. Oh my God, Monday was incredible. It's the throwback, essentially throwback Raw.
Mondays.
Yeah,
yeah, man. That was like if right now what we got SummerSlam playing in the background right now up on our screen. We're watching Ryback in the triple threat match. We'll get to that in a little bit later, but right now we're going to be talking before we get started with the show. If you've been living under a rock, of course we lost another Hall of Famer this past couple weeks ago, the Hot Rod, Roddy Piper, one of the greatest athletes. Everyone's been doing tributes to him. This is going to be another tribute show for the Hot Rod here, this Fatal 4-Way Podcast.
And it's sad to see this, but already how many have we honored in our podcast, essentially?
The past 5 episodes, we've honored wrestlers that have lost their lives, giving us the entertainment that we want. Vern Gagne was the first, and then it was Perro Aguayo Jr. down in Mexico. Then it was Dusty Rhodes, and now Hot Rod. So it was a shame to see how these shows have been starting, but
it's a fact of life, essentially. We lose some of our favorite people that inspired us as we were kids.
And then don't forget the disappearance of history from one Hulk Hogan.
Well, that we can argue about that every throughout the whole show if we wanted to, but it's just, I don't think it's a stupid deal on both ends for both Hogan and WWE. So.
Most definitely. But right now, again, we're going to be honoring the life of Hot Rod Roddy Piper. My most favorite moment with Hot Rod was the moment when he thought he was done in his career. Then he left WWE for something in Hollywood, and I think he just finished either They Live. I think it was They Live, and then he came back for his WrestleMania match against Goldust in that the parking lot brawl when he came back. And showed that he was still able to compete at a high level. I think that was my favorite moment when Hot Rod and Goldust fought, because that was an intense match at WrestleMania, and it was really awesome to see them compete against each other.
For me, it was more WCW, because that's why I was introduced to Roddy Piper, and for me, it was always the rivalry between him and Hollywood Hulk Hogan. That was always a thing. I don't know who else he feuded with. I think he feuded with I think Ric Flair for a little bit.
He did feud with Ric Flair. Yeah, he did feud with Ric Flair. Without Roddy Piper, there would be no Hulk Hogan, essentially, from WrestleMania 1. And that's what's really weird about what's going on, with... I hate to go back to Hulk Hogan, but that's what's really weird. If you look at it, Hot Rod's moment is with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, and then as soon as they nixed Hogan, there goes Rowdy.
Yeah, it's weird,
Yeah.
but it's a shame. But this episode is dedicated to the Hot Rod. Thank you for the years of entertainment and their service in the ring. You'll never be forgotten, especially in Hollywood. The movies I own them all. I own They Live. I own Hell Comes to Frogtown, which is a rare movie. I have it on VHS. It's a good one. So thank you for your service of entertaining me and my family for the years and years and years. And this show is dedicated to you, Hot Rod. Thank you very much, and let's get on with the show.
There's too many ways to say this, but this is a moment nobody thought they would ever see.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today's topics, we're going to be talking about NXT Brooklyn Fallout. The next one that we're going to be discussing is going to be Summer Slam Fallout, and then essentially the Raw Fallout. And then the one match that has been confirmed for one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year, Night of Champions. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started with the WWE NXT Takeover Brooklyn.
Oh,
that happened on Saturday.
Oh, my God. I was so amazed by NXT. All of them were just straight, clean matches. And especially the women's championship, it went long. But man, it had me at my edge of my seat, because it's like, Bayley's really the underdog, and then you had, of course, Sasha Banks, and so that match went long, but it proved that there can be a good women's match, because I was there, I was watching it, I wasn't bored or anything, I was watching to see what happened, and a lot of exciting things for me happened for that match, at least.
For me, WNXT was the biggest success they've had. If you didn't see the crowd, it was 15,000 plus sellout for the Barclays Center for WNXT. So this was a huge success. This is telling Vince, hey, we like this style of wrestling. We wanted to see, we like the future where it's headed, and it's moving in a right direction. So let's get to the chase. Let's get into the matches. The first one, we had Tyler Breeze versus making his WWE NXT debut, Jushin Thunder Liger, who's a big hero of mine, who's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, making his debut. In the match itself, it went pretty well for both competitors. In the end, Jushin Thunder Liger pulled out that victory. I think it was to serve a point that, Tyler Breeze is there. He is ready to take that next step eventually once Finn, Hideo Itami, Sami Zayn, and all the other ones move out. WWE NXT is safe with Tyler Breeze leading the charge and getting ready to groom him for a championship run eventually.
Yeah, I was surprised by that match too. I mean, Thunder Liger, from Japan, of course. If you don't know, we got to look it up. But I've seen him in the days in WCW. I like that when he was there. It was, of course, the cruiserweights. You had La Parka, you had
Mysterio.
Huh?
Rey Mysterio.
You had there's one I'm missing. I don't know why it just went
Eddie
blank
Guerrero.
on him. Well, Eddie Guerrero, yeah, but I'm thinking about luchas.
Oh,
the lucha side. I know they're lucha as well, but I'm talking about like the masked luchas.
Yeah, Psychosis.
La Parka. Psychosis, that's the one. That's what I was trying to remember. Psychosis, and for him to be there as part of the Japan division, that was really exciting, because that's what was happening at that time at WCW was the cruiserweights. The cruiserweights were really doing their jobs, and then to see him appear several years later in WWE, I felt excited. I wanted to see the match, and sure enough, I wasn't let down at all.
Yeah, the only thing for me with this one is that they did not give him his anime theme. They decided to go with another theme. I could understand why. But I would have kept his original anime theme. I think his anime theme it's essentially him itself. He is based on an anime character.
Yeah.
So I would love to have seen that one. But I'm not disappointed. This veteran, if you guys never seen him, it was a treat for you guys in Brooklyn. People watching, if you never seen him in his prime when he was a little bit younger, most definitely check it out. One of the matches that I could recommend for Jushin Thunder Liger is the cruise where him and versus Ultimate Dragon for all 10 cruiserweight titles. It was an awesome match. Liger was just coming back from his treatment. They found, I think, a tumor in his head. Didn't know if he was going to wrestle again. He decided to come back, wrestle Ultimate Dragon. Ultimate Dragon at that point was one of the top cruiserweights. He had the lightweight titles from Mexico, WCW, Australia, Germany, UK. He had 10 belts, and it was a 10 title match. One match for all 10 titles. It was an awesome match. If you didn't see it, if you look it up, it's on YouTube. It's really awesome. The next match after that one was the tag team title match between the Vaudevillains with the surprise manager Blue Pants against Blake and Murphy with Alexis Bliss. Another match didn't disappoint. The tag team division in NXT is where it's at, including with the women's division. But that tag team the division down there is really awesome.
Yeah, despite having very few tag teams, I think they only have about 3 or 4 right now at the moment.
I think NXT has about 4 or 5 tag teams down there. So
yeah, so I mean, for that division to be as hot as it is, if you look at what's in Raw right now, they got so many thus far, but a lot of them are lacking in personality and all that kind of stuff. But surprisingly, the Vaudevillains have a great following in NXT for their gimmick. I should say they have a marvelous fan base. I mean, it's just, I like it too. It brings I guess the old style, like you were saying previous times, is like they bring the old school sort of wrestling into the new generation, essentially, almost.
Yeah, my favorite out of the two is Simon Gotch. He's part of the Vaudevillains. He's kind of like the strongman type looking one. He has the mustache and everything. He's a fantastic athlete, a fantastic wrestler. His tag team partner, Aiden English. I've been a big fan of Aiden English since he stepped foot into the NXT ring. When he used to sing Broadway musicals about him dominating the WWE. It was very awesome to see Aiden English and them finally get their moment, because they're really good athletes. And Blue Pants, out of nowhere, has a cult following like who is beyond belief.
Yeah,
it's like crazy. And not to get outshined, but Blake and Murphy have developed a really good chemistry as a tag team down there. And I was surprised when they beat the Lucha Dragons about 2 pay-per-views ago, 2 NXT takeovers ago, when they beat the Lucha Dragons. They came out of the woodwork. I didn't see them doing anything. I thought they were just going to maybe job to them.
Yeah.
But no, they ended up well. What do you like about Blake and Murphy down there?
They're just, gosh. And those guys, I'm not connecting with them really, not much. Like I said, the Vaudevillains, you seem to, nice connection, because again, they bring the old school style, but or their gimmick is old school. But as far as Blake and Murphy, they're just 2 guys that just decide. You know what it reminds me of? Sort of, it reminds me of Triple H and Shawn Michaels. That kind of grouping.
No.
Just 2 dudes like, hey, you want to be a tag team partner? Sure, I'll do it.
Yeah, they really work well together. They have really good chemistry, I have to say. The universe may not be clicking with them, but they actually do their job, as a tag team. And they're actually really good. I find them very entertaining in the ring. They're getting better as the time progresses. Of course, that's what NXT is for. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go moving forward on that.
I think also one of them is from the area, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I think it is Blake. I think it's Blake. I think he is from the San Antonio, New Braunfels area. So it's really cool to see another Texas guy coming in and tagging with him. So that's pretty cool. The next match, Ty Dillinger versus Apollo Crews, a.k.a. Uha Nation. This Apollo Crews was the last gem in the indie scene for WWE to sign, from the guys like Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Hito Itami, Finn Balor, all those guys. He is the last. He is the diamond in the rough out of the bunch. Apollo Crews is going to be something big in WWE. You could just see it when he walked out of that ring, walked to the ring when he was announced. You could just see it in his eyes, like this is where he was meant to be. He had that moment, and with that moment, it connected with the rest of the NXT universe.
I think one of the first things out of his mouth was like, "Whoa, that's a lot of people." I think that was one of the first things he said. As soon as he walked out, like, "Oh man, that's a lot of people."
That's my name. And he pointed to the ground and it had Apollo Crews AC on it. To see that connection with him, and what a tremendous athlete for the build that he has. He looks like essentially like a mini heavyweight who moves like a cruiserweight. So it's amazing to see on his future and his path is going to be in NXT. But I'm looking forward to Apollo Crews. He did win. He beat Ty Dillinger. And Ty Dillinger, he has a lot of promise too. He was a former tag team with Jason Jordan. They broke out, so it's really cool to see Ty Dillinger move forward with his Perfect 10 gimmick. Not the best gimmick in the world, but he does got the NXT universe on his corner. He's got him chanting, and so it's pretty good to see that connection with Ty Dillinger in the NXT universe. Yeah. The next one was, I think, one of the most hard-hitting matches I've seen since Rhino versus Baron Corbin at the last pay-per-view, at the last takeover. That's Samoa Joe versus Baron Corbin. These guys, Ernest, your impressions of the match with Samoa Joe and his victory?
Again, I haven't seen Samoa Joe in action very much, but he did impress. I mean, I know he's been in the scene for quite a while, almost as long as Kevin Owens, being in the scene. I really enjoyed the match. It remind me again who was the victor on that one?
Samoa Joe with that submission with the rear naked choke.
Okay. Yeah, now that I remember, yes. But Baron Corbin himself, he's getting up there. I mean, being that he doesn't really have that much wrestling background, I think he proved the point, even though he fell to Samoa Joe.
Baron Corbin, if you guys don't know some of his background, Golden Gloves champion. He was also grappling champion. So this guy knows what he's doing. And you could see at the very end of the match when it came down to the heavy blows, the strikes. And then finally, Baron Corbin just lost for a split second. And Samoa Joe hit him with the Kona clutch. And that was it. So that was an amazing. I thought that match, that match itself was amazing, and I give props to Baron Corbin because he's got a bright future. Samoa Joe's obviously got a bright future. He knows how to work that mic, and he's starting to get that WWE camera work going. He's starting to work the cameras, because that's really the only thing when he had to come. I mean, he could work the mic and he can wrestle, but he has to learn the camera, where the camera is placed. That's the WWE style.
Yeah.
And once you get that, he's got it all. He's just like all the other ones. So Samoa Joe.
Yeah, they're improving Samoa Joe. Even the entrance theme, I know it was different from the first version, because one of the first things I've noticed when he entered the scene is the music they played with him, and it seems just so lame. This time around for Takeover, they actually improved his entrance, and it actually sounded legit this time, or something more fitting for him when he walks out. They're working with Samoa Joe. I'm sure they're gonna work more with his promos and all that kind of stuff in the future.
I'm gonna go out of order, and I'm gonna jump to the ladder match.
Okay.
For the NXT Heavyweight Championship, and that is between Finn Balor and Kevin Owens, who's working double duty, essentially triple duty.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, it was triple duty, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had Saturday, then Sunday, and then he wrestled again on Monday. So, Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor in the ladder match. I think it was a good ladder match, not the best ladder match that I've seen.
Yeah, of course, always seen better.
But I think it was because Owens was probably going about 75% in that match. He wasn't going to do anything to hurt his chances for Sunday against Cesaro. So it was really good for what it was worth. And I really enjoyed it, not to to say it was. But Finn Balor again came on top, showing that it was not a fluke from Japan. So it was really good. Overall, I think it was overall. Everyone still says that they're trying to bury Owens. I don't see a burial on Owens anywhere. Owens right now is probably the top guy storyline wise,
and I guess working wise, because he's pulled a triple one this weekend. So he's definitely committed. What I'm kind of afraid of, he may be overachieving, in my personal opinion, because if he gets hurt and he has all these things backed up, like all these storylines, it's really gonna screw things up.
Yeah.
So he needs to play cool a little bit here.
Yeah, I do see that, because he is the key to a lot of things, to a lot of future storylines on bringing people to the main roster. So if they decide to move it that route, he's the key to a lot of Sami Zayn re-entrants, Hideo Itami, also Finn Balor. So, I mean, he's a key to a lot of people coming into the main roster. So there's no way that they're burying him. They're solidifying him as the catalyst for this, who essentially, I think it was supposed to be Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn got hurt. So Sami Zayn was supposed to be the one bringing in Kevin Owens and so forth. But since Sami Zayn got hurt, they had to put it back, and they gave it to Kevin Owens, who I think is running the ball very, very, very well. And he's running his career and showing them why he's one of the best wrestlers that they have. I
think also, too, when you think about it, of course, going back to where Cena was having the open challenge, when you had Sami Zayn come out challenging Cena, that didn't really pop as much as Kevin Owens coming up towards Cena. That really popped because it's Kevin Owens. He's the heel, sort of bad guy heel for NXT coming up to challenge Cena, and sure enough, he beat Cena, the first time around, and so that's what I think set it off for him. That just blew, rocket into space essentially for Owens.
Yeah, most definitely. Again, we can't say much, not enough about Kevin Owens and his body of work so far in the WWE. Then now comes the jewel, the diamond of WWE NXT Brooklyn. Everyone was out for that one. All the Hall of Famers were there. Ric Flair, Sergeant Slaughter. They even had possibly a new signee with Kana, Japanese wrestler, one of the top female talents that are out right now. And it's a possibility that they might sign her. I've been hearing rumors in the background on that they might take a chance with Kana and bringing her in for a one-time off, just like they did Jushin Liger, or even possibly signing her to a contract. But we had the WWE NXT Women's Championship between then champion Sasha Banks versus Bayley, the number one contender. Bayley had to go through Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and I believe there was one more. It was Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and then finally Sasha Banks. So to beat those three women in unison one week after another was very, very... Dana Brooks. Yeah, that's the one. I forget about her. But Dana Brooks, Charlotte, and then Becky Lynch, and then going into Saturday night with Sasha. And wow. Top five matches of women's history. In my top 10 wrestling matches of all time. That's where that match stands. It's probably number 8 or number 7 or number 8 in my all-time favorite matches. Ernest, yeah, I know. We talk about them all the time. Every podcast we talk about the NXT Women's Division.
I have nothing to say because it's just, it's just that great. I mean, for a minute there's some moments where I thought, she's gonna lose it. She's gonna, Sasha Banks is gonna retain. But then there was moments of wow, it's just like, oh my God, I'm sure there was other great women's wrestling moments, which, to be frank, I don't really watch much of the women's wrestling back when the Attitude Era, when the women were really, kicking ass. But in this time around, I'm seeing it here, and I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I'm not getting bored to sleep. I'm not going taking a restroom break during the women's matches. No, I was there watching it. So, my hat's off to them, because the guys behind NXT, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, they want that type of they see what the men are doing, and they want the exact same thing for the women's to do, for them to bring that type of exciting matches, so people can be there and watch and look at these women fly and do what they can do, and not just be. I hate to say this, but be like what Vince tried to do, is just bring TNA into Raw, which is titties and ass, to Raw, and not really bring any wrestling into the Divas division, where I see Triple H and Stephanie trying to bring wrestling and get rid of the, I guess, stereotypical diva, sexy diva, just, strip them down, make them do little things, and then let the men take over again. No, that's not what they're doing in NXT.
Yeah, it is essentially right now the top talent. I haven't seen women's wrestling like this since the golden age of women's wrestling, when we had Fabulous Moolah, Sherry Martel, Wendy Richter. These Hall of Famers wrestle back when there were territorial days, not when they were in WWE, because at that time they were already past their prime. They were already older, so they didn't wrestle as much, but they managed. But to see them wrestle like that would make them proud. I'm
sure if they were still alive today, they will be 100% behind the new women's, what's going on with the women's division in NXT.
Oh, most definitely, especially Fabulous Moolah. I think Moolah and Mae Young, I think they would be, they were always there sitting down. They're in the crowd watching wrestling at every event. They were in the back at every event. I would say that they would be proud of the new wave of WWE divas coming through. Some of them remind me of Fabulous Moolah on how physical she was. In that sense, Becky Lynch reminds me a lot of Moolah. Mae Young also with Charlotte. With Charlotte Flair. So I see a lot of things that are going to go really well with these women, and now mixing in with the main roster. It's a good mix. Yeah. I think they have the right people in the right places, and I think this batch, with the exception of -1, because Bayley is not on the main roster, but with the batch that they have, and when Bayley gets called up to the main roster, I think it'll be fantastic.
Oh, yeah, most
fantastic
definitely.
Mix.
And I think they're still, in a certain sense, kind of going off, and I know you're not going to like this, I think there's still a certain cancer in the women's division in Raw. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
No. They're doing well. They're doing well.
I don't know. Here's the thing. When you try to bring revolution, you clean house. And when you clean house, you get rid of the old and you bring in the new. What's still left that's old, Jesse?
Alicia Fox and Rosa Mendez.
You're avoiding the subject, but okay.
Those are the ones. Well, not essentially Alicia Fox. She's actually pretty good. Nothing bad to Alicia Fox. Rosa Mendez, of course, she's pregnant, so I could see her stepping away. You know what I mean? And that opens up a spot for Bayley. So when she's ready to be called up to the main roster. But no, they're not ready yet. And they're never going to be, because they're going to be staying in the WWE, because she's the face that runs the place, and that's Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella runs the WWE Divas division on the main roster, just like her beau, John Cena, runs the main roster.
I beg to differ, Jesse, but move on. Let's go.
Our next topic, of course, we're going to be talking about the fallout from Summer Slam. So we'll be taking a quick break. We'll be right back with you. Okay.
The United States and WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. Jon Stewart has gone from Daily Show host to Summer Slam criminal here tonight.
Maybe Summer Slam hero. Depends on your perspective, Michael.
Oh, come on. That wasn't right, and you know it, John.
I just don't know why he did it, King.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Now we're going to talk about SummerSlam on Sunday night. 4-hour extravaganza that took place at the Barclays Center.
And I feel sorry for the people who stayed there for all 4 hours. 4 hours is pretty long for 10 bouts. The bouts itself were pretty good. The matches itself were solid. For me, it was just the lack of, I would say, star power behind it. Like special moments. It focused on wrestling, which I couldn't complain about because, like I said, the matches were fantastic. Well, really, they had to kind of up the ante from NXT the day before. So,
yeah, wrestling.
But then again, Vince McMahon has his own freaking way how he does his thing. So, never know what was going to happen.
It was kind of weird. Like they didn't. For me, it was just a lack of story, that progression with no star power behind it. So I can't complain about the wrestling because the wrestling was fantastic. It was just the lack of star power for me. I give this a solid B plus pay-per-view. The only other exception, of course, was just the 4 hours. I think they could have fit it into a 3-hour program. I think one of the matches that ran a little bit longer than it should was the tag team match. Though that was full of action, I can't complain on the tag team. Also, the Big Show, the triple threat match between Big Show, Ryback, and The Miz, I think, ran a little too long. I think they could have cut that one short. So I think they could have fit it into a 3-hour program.
I think out of all the matches, I think it was the one between Sheamus and Randy Orton, and again the triple threat match. I think we could have done without it.
Yeah, I think one of them could have been a kickoff match. I think one of those should have been one. It is what it is. Again, it's a B. For me, it was a B plus. Ernest, what do you grade this one?
B minus.
B minus on that. I get it.
It was still good, but again, there were just some matches that were like the triple threat match. Meh. I mean, Ryback coming back from his infection. Then of course, Randy Orton and Sheamus. I didn't know what the. Again, that was just more of a grudge match. There wasn't really for anything, to be honest with you, other than a grudge match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have seen that one being a kickoff style match.
Because there's nothing on the line for it, There's
there was
not a title.
Nothing on the line. It was just more just pride,
Yeah.
But
to see Sheamus and Randy Orton on a kickoff show, those two big stars on a kickoff show, that would have pissed off a lot of. I think that would have pissed off both of them to be on a kickoff.
That's probably what it should have been, because it was the first match anyways.
Yeah,
it probably was the kickoff show, but they probably decided, no, we're not going to be on the kickoff show. We're going to be in the main event or main show. And they're probably creative said, like, all right, fine, we're not even gonna have a pre-show.
Yeah,
So I was like, screw it.
So we opened up with Jon Stewart and his promo with Mick Foley, which essentially was pretty good. In the beginning, the universe didn't take too kindly with Jon Stewart for some odd reason. It wasn't clicking. But essentially, he started getting the crowd into it. Mick Foley came out, got his cheap pop. Thought it was Rock, not Brock. He didn't emphasize the B, the consonant. So I thought it was really good. I thought it was pretty funny. Not the best opening for a host.
No, I didn't enjoy it at all. He just fell flat. It felt really flat. Not sure why. I don't know if because he retired from the Daily Show or just people just don't really see what the connection between him and WWE is. Because I really don't see the connection. Other than him starting things like with Seth Rollins on his show. Other than that, I really didn't see much why he had to be at SummerSlam other than what happened to the events later in the show.
Well, he is a fan of the WWE. He's been at many events, so this was a way to connect again. Instead of going with wrestling star power, they went with celebrity star power. But Jon Stewart wasn't enough star power for him. So for the show itself. So that again, it was a weak start off, but then we get into the match, the first match, Randy Orton versus Sheamus that we talked about. I think Sheamus took the victory on that one. About 3 bro kicks. I think he went for one bro kick, missed, hit a second, took the bro kick, flung him into one of the corners, and then Sheamus bounced off the ropes, bro kicked him to the face. Sheamus picked up the 1-2-3, knocked out Randy Orton.
Again, there was no point to that match other than just a grudge match or what was I really gonna say?
It was just for Sheamus to look strong because he's Money in the Bank.
Yeah, but again, it just for some odd reason I didn't like that one. It just meh.
Yeah, it was one of those matches that like I said, could have been a kickoff, but it is what it is. Sheamus picked up the victory. Of course, we're going to make him look strong because he is Mr. Money in the Bank at the moment. So it's going to be very interesting to see on the story progression with Sheamus. The next one, which I think was the scariest match of the night.
There was a lot of men in that ring.
Yep. We had the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team, Los Matadores versus the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Big E, versus the Lucha Dragons, Sin Cara and Kalisto, versus the WWE Tag Team Champions, Primetime Players, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. This had a lot of botches, a lot of good action, but a lot of botches in this match. I think everyone was just overly hyped. There was a lot of men in the ring, which made for crazy action. Don't get me wrong, I like crazy action, but when it's safe, these guys, some of the stuff that they were doing could have really hurt
them.
Hurt people, and that gets me upset when I see something like that, because especially since they're trying to entertain us. The fans were cheering on certain parts for it when I think they could have showed a little bit more respect, but it is what it is on my end.
Again, because you got to remember, had what NXT the night before, they had to up their ante, because the tag team that was the night before was great. It was good. So they had to pull out all the stops on this one, but they may have tried too hard, and that's why they missed a lot of their cues. And some, like the one flying kick through the ropes, and then I forgot who it was trying to kick him out or kick somebody. It didn't make a connection at all. That didn't even make any connection. And then Big E flying through the ropes again outside to hit Darren Young. And that was like, he hit hard on that mat. He's a big dude. He's a big heavy dude. Yeah. What do you expect? He was gonna hit hard. Like, damn.
The scariest one, I think, was when the Lucha Dragons were trying to take Fernando or Diego, and Diego just fell off the corner. He's just like, and I was like, oh my god! they even looked at each other like, what happened? And then the other one goes up there, essentially to set up, it's essentially setting up the double power bomb from Titus O'Neil. Shining grace in that match, Titus O'Neil.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm starting to like Titus O'Neil more and more every time I see him wrestle.
Titus O'Neil is a very underused talent in WWE. I'm glad that they gave him a title. Now hopefully they could come back in the tag team division, which we'll talk about it in the Raw Fallout here in a little while, the surprises that happened on Raw. But the tag team division got turned up a lot this past Monday. But with Titus O'Neil, I think they're grooming Titus. He's doing really well. You can't hate Titus.
No, you really can't. I mean, I'm starting to grow on it. He's starting to grow on me, and so is Darren Young. I mean, they just click together.
Yep.
And be honest with you, it would be nice just in the future, maybe Cruz can join up with the primetime players. That would be a nice. That'd be like the real answer to the New Day.
You know what? Yeah, I could actually see that. I have a friend who I probably might agree with that, with Apollo Crews joining the Primetime Players versus the New Day. Shout out to Wayne, our friend. But yeah, he's a fan of Apollo Crews. But I agree. In the New Day too. The New Day is starting to click on all cylinders.
Yeah, surprisingly so. Especially in this match at the end, people were actually enjoying the New Day for some odd reason. And like, you know what? There's nothing really wrong with the New Day. They're just flamboyant.
Yep.
You know, and then you got Xavier Woods. Being flamboyant is possible. Just yelling in the top of, like, he's kind of like reminds me of Jimmy Hart.
Yep. Out there being in the corner. The Lucha Dragons. Wow. Moves, lucha all over the place. Those guys go really well. The one team that did not impress me was Los Matadores.
They never did. They never have, for me at least, because I still don't know why they're still here. They should really do something else with that group.
Yeah, I think they should actually go back again. The only saving grace is El Torito, but to tell you the truth, El Torito should actually join the Lucha Dragons. I think that would be a better fit for Torito, and move Los Matadores, redevelop them, send them back to NXT, do something with them. Yeah. Because right now they're not clicking. That they're the downgrade, and unfortunately they both are great athletes, you know, but for some odd reason they're just not clicking with me right now.
No.
So
I guess in a way they don't have the real aspect, I should say.
Yeah.
You know, like Primetime Players, they're good. They're bros. The New Day, even though their gimmick is a little weird, it still clicks. You know, and then you have the Lucha Dragons. Lucha. What do you expect? You know, it's luchadores. The Matadors, there's nothing really to connect with them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
There's nothing to connect with. And so that's what I think their gimmick is the problem. Their gimmick is the problem. There's no way to connect to these athletes.
Yeah.
Other than their Matadores. But who gives a fuck about Matadores?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I said, they didn't really impress me much. And it's unfortunate because they are really good. The next match that we have on the card was Rusev versus Dolph Ziggler. The love triangle continues. This match ended up being a double countout. Been a long time since I've seen a double countout, so it was very good to see something refreshing in that part. So the rivalry will continue going into the next pay-per-view and the next couple of Raws. Again, didn't solidify any men like trumping each other.
No.
But it's good to see Dolph Ziggler come back, of course, from that his contract negotiations.
You know what? I see something happening. Probably I think Summer Rae and it's her name, right?
Yeah, Summer Rae. Yeah.
Summer Rae and I think Lana are gonna probably end up wrestling.
I will see a mixed. I think a mixed tag is in the future, and it's inevitable coming up in the next pay-per-view. So I do see that happening. So we're gonna look forward to this because the Lana Summer Rae thing for me is it's what's selling this match. It's not, unfortunately, it's not Rusev and it's not Dolph Ziggler, but. I mean, athletically, they had a great match. I can't say but great things about them. So it's going to be good to see them where they come up. The next one was one of the feature matches, I guess, you know, with a lot of hype behind it. You had Stardust and King Barrett versus Adrian Neville and Stephen Amell in a tag match. Again,
and for those who don't know who Stephen Amell is, I'm sure there is some people out there that don't know who he is.
He is the Green Arrow, a DC character from Green Arrow,
the TV show
Arrow. So it's good to see. This was their thing of star power, I guess. To me, didn't really care about it. You know,
I think this was more of a fantasy match than anything else.
Stephen Amell was like wanting to get in there from the get-go. So I guess it was like one of those things where it's like, all right, we'll give you a chance. You know what I mean? Just like Maria Menounos and all them others. We'll give you a shot inside. Athletically, he was impressive.
Most definitely. He wasn't like one of those celebrities where he just does one move and then gets out of the way and lets the other wrestler do the job. He actually did some good moves.
Yeah, he had a big
he was really
boot.
athletic in this match,
Yeah,
and he actually flew a couple of times. Like, damn, boy, calm down.
Yeah, he had the big boot, off the turnbuckle, the dive. So, I mean, it was really cool that he actually stepped up and wanted to wrestle in this. So, good props to Stephen Amell, who eventually they did win the match. Stephen Amell and Adrian Neville. Of course, Adrian Neville hitting the red arrow.
Of course, we still call him Adrian Neville because he's still an Adrian Neville. He's not just Neville.
Yeah, to me, he's Adrian Neville. He will always be Adrian Neville. Regardless of what WWE creative says, he's Adrian Neville to me.
Yeah, that's one thing. Well, you know what thing I liked about this? Well, you know how they used to have Adrian Neville coming through the audience. They have the announcer saying, like, you know, what he is or whatever. Yeah. I'm finally glad they dropped the new sensation.
Yeah,
because he didn't really need that.
Yeah, the man
that was pushing it way too much in her face.
The man that gravity forgot.
That's all they need to say,
because that's what he was known.
Yeah, in NXT. Yeah, so that's. I'm glad they finally stopped that. Again, Neville's a good talent. He's a great athlete. Things like this is fine. Subtle stuff. Don't push it in our face.
Yep.
But subtle stuff. Let us grow on it.
Yep, most definitely. The next one. Ryback, Big Show, and The Miz for the IC title. Yeah. Big Show has actually looked impressive.
Sorry, I was sleeping. What?
Ryback, okay. Miz did pretty well. But to me, the star was Big Show. Unfortunately, he didn't get the championship. Ryback picked up the victory, retains the Intercontinental Champion. What's next for this? I honestly have no clue where this is going.
Yeah, I think with Ryback, you know, again, he's just barely come off his infection. With Big Show and Miz, Big Show, really, I used to like Big Show. He's kind of one of those things that it's like a flip of a switch. I either like him or I don't like him from one week to the next. As far as Miz will always be the Miz. There's no one, Johnny Cage, I'm sorry. But for Ryback, I really want a good push for Ryback, but he needs something a little better in his gimmick. Something a little more connecting, I should say.
Yeah, there's something there, and I want to see who he's going to face next. I think that's going to be the determinant, or if they're going to continue the Big Show, Miz, one of those two guys going to get the title. But I hope they go with someone different. I would like to see someone else challenge Ryback for the title.
And someone maybe more... okay, who do we have in the roster that may challenge him? You know what, be honest with you, maybe Neville.
Neville would be interesting.
That would actually give Ryback a nice, good competitor to face.
You know, to tell you the truth, I think it's time to give him a title, and I think it's time for Bray Wyatt to get a title.
But they already had a match, though. They already had something going on before.
I think this would solidify it now. I think this would be a perfect time to give Bray a title, especially with all the new stuff that's going on.
But I think they're still doing the feud with
Roman and...
Yeah, so that probably won't happen till later. I think maybe at least for this point in time, like short term, maybe give Neville something. Maybe give him a match with Ryback.
I could even see Kevin Owens or Cesaro. They've been pushing really well, those two guys as well.
Yeah, and Cesaro would be a good choice. Kevin Owens... Man, Kevin Owens is one of those things, man. You really want him the title, but damn, you really don't want him to get the title. Because he was beautiful with the NXT title. Yeah. He made that title legit.
Yep, and
at least from my opinion, he made that title legit.
And I think he could make the IC title legit, bring it back to a Montreal boy like Pat Patterson, the original IC champion. I think that would be actually pretty cool to have Kevin Owens win that title.
Never know. Never know.
The next one, of course, was family versus family. The Wyatt family versus Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Of course, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns won that match. Again, these four guys can't say anything bad about them. They
put on a good show. I mean, again, they have the chemistry between Dean Ambrose and Roman. Of course, the Wyatt family basically reunited again almost. Mm-hmm. Two of the three. So who knows what this brings in the future? Again, they're still moving forward with this rivalry, correct?
Yeah, they're essentially now with the on Monday's Fallout they introduced the brand new member of the Wyatt family.
So I've heard. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that point because that man is a mammoth of a man, and wow. Wow, that character resonated with me for some odd reason. Like, I don't know what it was, but something.
Let's save it.
Yeah, we'll get to it in the next topic. Again, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, what's next? They're essentially going to... Now, the question that I have is, are they going to introduce a new member for Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns? Are they going to try to make it even? Where's Eric Rowan in all this?
Ooh, don't know.
That's the thing. It's like it's going to be very interesting to see where this is going to be playing out. Are they going to give them a third to make things equal? We'll find out, I guess, in the next couple of weeks as it leads up to Night of Champions. Right now, we have the greatest match, I think, on the card right now that's been up there on SummerSlam. That's the Seth Rollins champion versus champion against John Cena. Right now, we have that playing in the background right now. We're watching it as we speak. I can't say enough about these two athletes right now. I am not a big fan of John Cena by all means.
I don't think anybody really is, unless you're a 15-year-old kid.
But I cannot. These past months, John Cena is the top guy. He's showing why he is the top guy in WWE.
Top guy as in promos or top guy as an athlete?
Everything. Overall, he is the top guy right now in WWE. He is showing why he is number one. Regardless of how you feel, regardless of how much you hate him, when you go up against John Cena, you have to bring your promo skills because he'll eat you up on promo. Regardless, he's got the heat. He's got the face. He's got the heat. He's a good guy, bad guy, depending on how you look at it. He's fantastic. Skill-wise in the ring, you have to bring your A game because, of course, you know what you're going to get when you go in there. You're getting Super Cena.
Yeah, I know Super Cena.
So regardless of what you're going to do, you're going to get that. So you got to bring your A game every time when you go up against John Cena. So, again, I'm not a fan of Cena. I'm a fan of Cena for these last couple of months. It's going to be interesting to see where they're going to go in the next couple of months with John Cena. Is he going to pursue the United States Championship from Seth Rollins? Obviously, we know the outcome. We're going to talk about in the Raw Fallout since John Cena lost the title. We're going to talk about the Raw Fallout. And it's obviously not the heavyweight title. Unfortunately, it's going to someone else. We'll talk about that. So it's going to be interesting to see where Cena's going to be played out. Where is he going to go? Who's he going to face? Going to be very interesting. Ernest.
I don't like Cena regardless. I'm not a 9 to 15-year-old kid who loves Cena. For me, Seth Rollins did a great job in the match. I mean, no doubt. Despite getting help from Jon Stewart, Cena needs to be... For me, Cena needs to get knocked down a little bit.
We're watching the suplex off that turnbuckle, guys. What a move.
You can see what's his name's knee hitting John Cena's face. It's like, oh crap.
that was probably the best move of that match. That double suplex off that turnbuckle. That was. I don't care what anybody says. Cena's the shit right now, man. That's my cuss word of the day. Cena is the shit right now. Again, I don't like him, but I like him right now. I don't want to like him because there's so much other things going on.
Oh, well, moving forward.
Seth Rollins wins that match. He is now the undisputed heavyweight champion as well as the new United States heavyweight champion. So it's going to be very cool to see where they're going to move on with both of those men. Obviously, we know where the WWE Heavyweight Championship is going after Raw. The next one was the team with the Divas, Team Bella versus Team Bad versus Team PCB. Eventually, in the end, Paige, Charlotte, and Becky won. Team PCB won that match.
I had to be fair and honest with you. I have not seen that match. Also, they were watching SummerSlam at the very moment, but they had to live up to the hype that was NXT the night before. I mean, that singles match, and then you have a three-way.
This is my problem with everything that's been going on. These matches make no sense. The Divas Revolution, okay, that makes sense. Okay, the Divas Revolution makes sense to Jesse. It makes sense to a lot of people because of what's going down on NXT. WWE knows they have to step up the game. But what is this with all these tag matches, triple threat matches, team matches that make no sense? They make no sense whatsoever. There is nothing to gain out of these matches.
I guess, again, bragging rights, I guess, for the Divas.
I mean, even on Monday, the matches, another team match instead of a singles match. They give us a team match. For what purpose? Paige gets upset about it because the fans didn't take kindly to it. Well, of course they're not going to take kindly to it because there's nothing going on. There's nothing to gain from these team matches. Mick Foley even wrote about it. He wrote a small piece, and he didn't expect it to explode like it did. Even I commented on it, on that post, and it was a simple. If they're going to be doing this, if they're going to be doing this team matches, then there's only one thing they need to do, and that's bring back the women's tag team titles. Then it would make sense. Then all of these matches would make sense. That's what they need to do if they're going to continue doing this, because if not, they're going to ruin the revolution within 48 hours.
Yeah. Because you had the greatest match, almost one of the greatest matches modern right now, NXT singles match, and then you throw in again. I definitely see what you're talking about. I definitely do.
That was 2 team matches in a row,
and you had a singles 2 nights before.
Yeah,
and that was the greatest singles match we've seen so far.
Yeah, I would say give me give me Bella versus Nikki versus Sasha, or even Nikki versus Paige, not Paige, but Charlotte. Just give me someone. Give me a one-on-one. I want to see the Divas Revolution singles match. The team matches, there's nothing to gain out of them, so it upsets me a little bit because they made such a big hype on it, and I'm with it. I just don't like seeing a replay of what I saw last night.
Yeah.
Now they come up to I think another one that stole the show. That's Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. Kevin Owens beating Cesaro in what was an epic contest.
So I heard. Again, to be fair and honest with you, at this very moment, this is my first time watching SummerSlam on this big screen we're watching in front of us. So we're not up to that point yet, but again, the Twitter feeds, the Facebook feeds, I know what happened. I just haven't seen it yet, and I heard it was a really good match, especially from you, Jesse, so I have to take your word for it. And this was a great match, so I've heard.
I liked it. I don't care what anyone else thought about it. I enjoyed the match. It was really good. Again, Kevin Owens and Cesaro, man, they're stepping up their game. I can't say nothing bad about it. Congratulations.
And Kevin Owens needed the win. He really needed a good win like that.
Yeah, he did. He was starting to, lose a little steam, but that was expected. But it was surprising that they gave him the win, so it was really cool. After the backstage interview after NXT, claiming that he was going to break Cesaro, so it was pretty cool.
I like that aspect, or at least that, I don't know if it's an aspect, gimmick, or what, but I like when I like the motion when Kevin Owens said something, he actually legitimately did it.
Yeah.
Lately they've been calling, it's been faltering. Something he says and he doesn't do it, or he comes up short or whatever. But I like the reason why I like Kevin Owens, I like the aspect when he said he was going to do something, he did it. And he didn't give a crap about what anybody said. That's what I liked about Kevin Owens, and that's what I want to see happening.
And something that I even really forgot way back when we were talking about the New Day and everything.
Yeah.
The Big E dance at the end.
Oh, God.
The Big E dance. Oh, my goodness. Now it comes to the main event. Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker.
Oh, okay. So this is interesting. I did not know that Kevin Owens and Cesaro was the co-main event.
Yep.
That's fucking amazing to me.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Did not know that. So anyways, going to the main event. That was
Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker.
part 2.
How do I feel about this match? I'm indifferent in this match because I knew it was going to lead up to a possible third. There is a third match in the works. Where it's going to be, obviously, I think it's going to be at Mania. Maybe. I don't see it running that long to Mania. But I think this next match will probably be a retirement match. Yeah.
Maybe because we still want the Sting versus Undertaker thing.
I don't think that match is actually going to happen.
Well, never know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Because for this third match to happen, there has to be something on the line. At this match, there was nothing on the line other than pride, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, right now, well, of course, the third match if you guys didn't see it, the bellkeeper rang the bell early. Undertaker tapped. Brock Lesnar thought he won because Undertaker tapped out. He released the hold. Undertaker then got him in a submission, knocked out Brock Lesnar, and Undertaker won officially the match. Charles Robinson rang the bell as an official supposed to end the match. And there you go. Undertaker wins by unnecessary sources. So
I don't know. I haven't seen the match yet. I don't know if this is a botch, a legitimate botch, or just something they actually decided to do and see how it was gonna run.
It was to me, this was not botched or anything. This was staged. This was supposed to happen. This was the story that was going to carry on for a third match. Between the two. But that's what they gave them, and they ran with it, and both of them signed off on it. They did a good match, but it was just the ending. I think a lot of people were disappointed in the ending of the match. So
I think at this point, WWE needs to make sure they have a start, a middle, and a good finish. You cannot leave an event so flatlined, I guess you can call it. Like, for instance, it would have been nice if, say, Kevin Owens and Cesaro was a main event, just theorizing, and have Taker and Brock during the mid. Because you need a good match to finish. You can't just leave it like that.
It is what it is, and we had it before at the Royal Rumble when everybody booed. So, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. I personally would have liked to see the heavyweight title at the end. That was a good match.
Yeah, that could have been a good match. As a matter of fact, that should have been the match. The world title should have been the main event. At any event, it should be the main event.
Yeah,
because it's a title match. This, for Undertaker and Brock, there was nothing on the line other than pride. Why was it a main event?
It is what it is. I can't answer that question.
Again, that's just not the way you book things. That's just my personal opinion. Sorry, WWE, but that sucked balls.
The next thing, the fallout, we're just going to talk briefly about the stuff that happened on Raw. So, yeah, we'll be right back, and we're going to be talking Raw, fallout, and surprises that took place.
What the? Oh, my God, are you kidding me? No! You gotta be kidding me! It can't be! The most decorated team in NXT! Woo! Bubba Ray Dudley! Devon Dudley! The Dudley boys are back! The most decorated team in WWE history! The 9-time WWE Tag Team Champions! Bring them all!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. we're going to be talking about the few surprises that were there on Monday Night Raw and a couple maybe storylines moving forward. Of course, we talked about the brand new Wyatt family member that popped out, this monster of a man. Braun Strowman is his name. He is a tough man, just like Mark Henry. He is a strong man, just like Mark Henry. This guy is huge.
Yeah, I saw the video. That dude, he made everybody look small in that ring.
That width of his size is unbelievable. I don't know what it was, but I connected with this gentleman, with this wrestler, his brute strength. It was awesome to see. He kind of reminded me like a Kane, like when Kane first came out, because they kicked him in the Dean Ambrose kicked him in the face, and then he just like looked at him like what the hell, and then he swatted like Roman Reigns out of the way that when he was beating up on Dean. His submission, his sleeper is pretty cool, and then his drop when he just lifts Roman Reigns up with one arm and he slams him, that was pretty cool. This guy is a perfect fit for the Wyatt family.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
He looks just like a bigger Bray Wyatt. That's all.
I thought he was his brother for a minute or something. Yeah. He looks so like Bray Wyatt. I was like, damn, who is this guy?
I was like, Bray Wyatt took steroids or fucking Power Rangers when they throw the wand on the ground, and Bray Wyatt just like expanded. It was awesome. Braun Strowman is going to be a fantastic addition to the Wyatt family. Again, we talked about where does this leave Eric Rowan? Are there going to be 4 members when he comes back, or is he going to be somewhere else? So Eric Rowan is out in the mix right now, so I don't know how long he's going to be out for.
He might join up with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. I can see that happening, to be honest with you.
So we got to see where it's going to go. And again, are they going to add a third member for Roman and Dean to even things out? Maybe Mark Henry. I don't know who's going to take out that big.
I would not see
Kane.
Mark Henry.
I don't know who's going to help take out that big mammoth of a man, Strowman. So it's going to be very cool. I didn't catch the promo where they introduced his actual character name. That's his real name, Braun Strowman. That's his real name. So it's going to be interesting to see. Of course, and then my childhood coming back to me, the Attitude Era making an injection into the tag team division. WWE welcoming them back. The Dudley Boys, Devon and Bubba Ray. I marked out when I saw that. I marked out for that moment to see them back in WWE, that tag team division. Eventually the singles, when Bubba breaks to go as singles, I know he's going to. It's going to be very interesting to see and how they're how long did they sign? Mm-hmm. What are they going to do? So as of right now, the Dudleys are in action. They're going to be on SmackDown. So it's going to be very cool to see them compete. But I marked out with the Dudley Boys. Do you have any Dudley Boys?
Not really, because again, there were more ECW and WWE. They really never made a showing on WCW during that period of time.
Yeah.
So, but I do know they're pretty extreme.
Yeah.
I actually like them. Well, obviously, I like them better than what was Public Enemy which was WCW's answer to the Dudley Boys.
Well, they actually had the WCW tag titles. They won all the tag titles. They're the most decorated, besides the Legion of Doom. From the big three, they had all 3 titles. They had the WCW, WWE, and ECW titles, so it's really cool to see them. Public Enemy, again, yeah, they were trying to answer, the Dudleys with essentially Public Enemy. They were friends, but of course, WWE landed the Dudley Boys. Yeah. They're the better of the teams, don't get me wrong. I like Public Enemy, but WWE landed the Dudleys twice. So, yeah. Welcome back, Dudley Boys. Yay, Dudleys.
That sounded exciting.
And then, well, we had the statue of Seth Rollins. Awesome.
Yeah, it was a cool statue. I saw the picture of it.
And then at the end, when they were going to show it off for the world, underneath there is the returning Sting.
Hell yes.
And here we go. So this is it. Sting is getting his chance at the WWE heavyweight title.
And all he needs is just one chance. That's all he needs.
That's all I think is going to get is that one chance.
And I think he's going to, you know what? looking forward, I know he's gonna get it. Now, you had a theory about something earlier. You're talking about earlier.
Correct. My prediction for a Night of Champions, Sting is going to win the championship from Seth Rollins, and then Sheamus is going to cash in the briefcase because Sting's going to be too old, too weak to do anything. This would be the perfect time. So if Sting has one match in him, which is going to be against Seth Rollins, he's going to win, possibly. Sting looks great. And then he's going to lose to Sheamus, I think. Sheamus is going to win the heavyweight title at Night of Champions.
I have to disagree with that. I think Sting is going to be able to do something to keep Sheamus away.
Well,
if that does happen, I do see possibly Sheamus trying to cash in, but I don't think Sting's going to let it go.
It's going to be very interesting to see on how they're going to play it out because then we have the Royal Rumble a couple of months away. So I think it'll be very interesting to see on how it's going to play out. But like I said, I think that's what's going to happen on that one. Jon Stewart gets... Ric Flair shows up. Jon Stewart gets an AA from John Cena for what he did on the match, interfering with that. Brock Lesnar breaking Bo Dallas's neck.
Did he legitimately break Bo Dallas's neck?
No, but you just don't mess with Brock Lesnar, Bo Dallas. You should know better. Other than that, I think that is it. Oh, we had a podcast question on our Facebook page. What was your what was the favorite moments of the past 3 days of wrestling? My friend Andreas Arispe, he stated the curtain call, of course, at the end of the NXT women's match. All four women came out, the 4 horsewomen, Charlotte, Becky, Sasha Banks, and Bayley, all embraced in a hug, a curtain call, so to speak, for that, saying that, pretty much I think those 3 are done in NXT. They're going to be on the main roster from here on out. So it was the last time those 4 women were going to embrace. A lot of people liked, my friend Rob liked the Big E dance. Of course, if you didn't see the Big E dance, watch Summer Slam, watch the ending of that match, and you'll see the Big E dance. Awesome. Another one was the Dudley Boys, my friend Adrian, of course, the returning of the Dudley Boys. And, of course, my favorite out of the three nights was Jushin Thunder Liger. Seeing the Japanese legend, which was fantastic. Ernest, what was your favorite moment?
The tie, the women's and NXT Takeover, and Sting. It was a tie for me.
I knew Sting was going to be involved.
Oh, it had to be. You know that. You know me, man. Man, Sting's fucking awesome. I love him.
We hadn't had this much excitement in a while, so it was really good to see. We're gonna be coming back. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. We will be coming right back to do our sign off. We'll be right back at you. Excitement these past 3 days of wrestling. Not since Hell in a Cell, I think it was, when we had the NXT Takeover Hell in a Cell pay-per-views out in Corpus Christi. Wrestling is back.
It wasn't Hell in a Cell, it was Elimination Chamber.
Oh yes, the Elimination Chamber. It was one of the cell matches.
It was a cage match, no matter what you see it.
So much excitement this past 3 days. It shows that wrestling is back. I'm very excited from it. Guys, NXT is coming to San Antonio September 19th. If you're in the San Antonio area, they're doing the Texas tour 18th, 19th, and 20th. September 18th, Houston. September 19th, San Antonio. September 20th, Austin, Texas. The Texas tour. So NXT guys, touring
and
Texas.
Guess who's going?
We're being live. We're going to be there live at NXT on September 19th at the Aztec Theater. Standing room only. That's a small venue, man.
No kidding.
It's going to be crazy. But I'm looking forward to seeing all our fans out there. Hopefully you guys say hi to us. Of course, we're going to be enjoying the matches out there. I don't know who's going to be on the card yet. I'm excited. I'm hoping Finn Balor's going to be there.
Or Kevin Owens. I mean, for me, it's Kevin Owens. I don't know about you.
I don't know who's going to be there. I'm excited. Obviously, Bayley.
Yeah.
Bailey would be a plus to see. So yeah, man. And of course we got Raw, Night of Champions. Ring of Honor is coming to San Antonio. Also, so fans of the Ring of Honor, make sure you check out their website, ringofhonor.com. They're coming down for an extravaganza show here in San Antonio. Make sure you check them out. Man. Oh, my joke. Yeah, essentially what happened all together. Yeah, so WWE bought out TNA, obviously. Got Samoa Joe. They
took their talent.
Yeah, just like when they did with WCW. It's awesome. So
now it's TNA's turn to crank it up.
Well, I don't
because now they're in the situation when Raw used to be when WCW got other talent. So now they have to be creative and see what they can do. But then again, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you know what? I don't even think it's gonna be a TNA. The one I'm looking forward to, and of course, if you're in San Antonio, we got Global Force Wrestling coming as well. So a lot of wrestling events coming to the great state of Texas and San Antonio area as well. Again, Ring of Honor, Global Force Wrestling, NXT. There's an event, a Night of Champions in Houston. So yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy wrestling all over Texas. So guys, thank you for tuning in to my Fatal 4-Way podcast. Again, I am your host, Jesse the Man Lopez, alongside my tag team partner, Ernest Ultra Zamora. Ernest, anything to say before we get out? Anything on Anime Fun TV or anything like that?
Reruns are playing for the Season 5 for Anime Fun TV, and you can watch the Anime Fun TV Season 5 online. You can watch it or stream it on your phone too as well. So catch it there. And also don't forget our pals at the Horrors of the Universe.
Horrors of the Universe, our friends down at Horrors of the Universe podcast, Joe Gosciano, as well as Steve-O. Good to see them when they started coming up with their podcast. They ended in season 1. They're doing some more stuff. Stay tuned for them. Also, fans of anime, get ready. We are getting ready for our fall and winter tour.
Oh, that's right. We got Ikicon and we got Onicon, which is Onicon's going to be the first one on our tour.
So be sure to check out us on our fall tour, winter tour, and of course, 2016 just around the corner. More exciting news, more everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the Fatal 4-Way podcast. Thank you for listening. Enjoy wrestling. Again, have fun, guys. This is all about. I love you guys. Take care. God bless you guys. Have fun.
Good night, everyone.